Jets hold the number 2 and number 16 pick in the draft, and we're getting ourselves a little primetime look in the college football playoffs at some of the quarterbacks that they could actually target in the draft with those picks. It's never too early to talk quarterbacks, folks, with Gangzar here, co-host Frankie Vittorini. My guy, how's it going? What's happening? You ready to talk some quarterbacks?
Always, man, always. It's the best position in sports. It's also the hardest position in sports. And I'm ready, my man. I'm ready. We got some spring weather the last couple of days. I'm feeling good, man. I'm ready to get back out there. I know you are.
Two guys that are ready to get out there right now, and that's feeling themselves. Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore. They go at it tonight. Which one of these guys is your top choice for the Jets to draft with that number 2 pick? And what do you need to see from the other guy tonight to potentially change that choice?
Well, Brandon, it comes down to this for me. Who can fit this Tanner Engstrand offense and who has the highest success rate of being at least an average quarterback? And I think the answer to that question is Fernando Mendoza.
Okay.
Fernando Mendoza has a very high floor. I don't think the ceiling's what Dante Moore's ceiling is. I think Dante Moore's got all the traits you're looking for. And that ball, the way that ball comes out, it's poppy, man. He's got some zip on there. But overall, when I'm looking at prospects and I'm looking at what the Jets need, not someone that needs too much time to develop, somebody that I think can just come in and they can deliver if you give them a decent to good game plan, and that's Fernando Mendoza. He knows where to go with the ball. He stands confidently in the pocket. He can move a little bit. Big boy, 6'5", got those big hands, can come into New York. You know how it is here with the weather sometimes. That's why Eli was successful and guys like that. You want someone that's sort of bulletproof, and I feel like Fernando Mendoza is. Dante Moore, I think, is a more fragile prospect. I think he needs to take about a half to a full year of time to develop. I think him sitting behind a veteran quarterback or an established quarterback in a good system would really benefit him. So I think Dante Moore sort of might need some of that Jordan Love treatment, where I think Fernando Mendoza, you could just kind of throw him in there.
And Dante Moore doesn't have that time. Jets don't have that time for a guy to sit and wait, especially if you draft him at the number 2 spot. You got to come in and pretty much you're expected to be a day 1 starter. All eyes are going to be on this game tonight. That's what I love about college football and the playoffs, because it's prime time. You can up your draft stock whether you go from a 4th round pick to a 2nd, or maybe the 4th overall pick to the 1st and 2nd overall pick. So this head-to-head absolutely means something. Frankie V, we got ourselves, last night we saw a dogfight between the U and Ole Miss. We just found out that Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss was denied a 6th year of eligibility. His college career is now over. He's draft eligible now. Is he on your radar as a potential draft option for the Jets?
Man, I love me some Trinidad Chambliss, man. I'm a big fan. But I'm not a big enough fan where
There's the but.
There's always a but. There's always a but. The but is, I don't know where on our draft board it would make sense to take him. Obviously, 2's too early. 16's also early. 33, it could happen, but it's still a little early. I view him as like a late 2nd rounder, early 3rd rounder. We do have 44, which is a 12th pick in the 2nd round, which could be a place for him. And I would potentially go there for him. I do think he's got the traits that make defenses not be able to sleep well at night.
Yep.
He can stretch the defense out. He puts a lot of stress on those linebackers. He's moving all over the place. He's constantly looking downfield. So he's not looking to always check down. He's not a check down merchant by any stretch. He's the opposite. He's looking to gas you down the field for 30, 40 yards. Similar comp to a Russell Wilson kind of quarterback coming out. I really think Trinidad Chambliss, in the right system or with the right players, I think he could really be explosive. Now, with that being said, he does have deficiencies in his size, in his experience. You know, he did come from D2. And credits to him to go from D2 to the
Yep.
SEC and really not skip a beat is super impressive.
Absolutely.
It's got everything, but he doesn't have the prototypical things. The size, the underneath passing, some of the timing stuff can look a little bit off or be a little bit funky looking at times. Things don't really time up well. But he's a force to be reckoned with, man. And I think the Jets might need somebody like that to really be there, not as QB1 necessarily, but somebody that's going to give QB1 a run for their money come camp time. And don't be surprised if he ends up taking that job. You remember with Russell Wilson when he took that job from Matt Flynn years and years ago. I feel like that kind of situation needs to happen here, whether you're going to go the veteran route or even if you take a quarterback at 2. Take Dante Moore. Obviously, I would take Mendoza. Take one of those 2. And then if Chambliss is there at 44, why the hell not? We've never been able to find a quarterback. I know that's spending a lot of capital on quarterbacks. We can't find one, Brandon. Put the money where your mouth is. You keep talking about wanting quarterbacks, well, pay up and get them.
You got the whole RG3 Kirk Cousins thing going, draft 2 quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders.
I'm down.
You draft a quarterback, you draft a quarterback, you draft a quarterback. And when it comes to him, and like you mentioned at 33 and 44, that's also that Matt Flynn, Russell Wilson situation you mean. But that means that Darren Muji would have to bring in someone in free agency. You would have to pay a guy in free agency. And then if you take Chambliss at 33 or 44, then you're going to hope that he kind of works out and, like you said, goes and takes that job exactly like Russell Wilson did. Or if you punt on not drafting a quarterback at 2 or 16 and you choose to grab him at 33 or 44, you're hoping and praying he turns out to have a career like Jalen Hurts, like that second-round draft pick quarterback that goes, takes over, and wins yourself Super Bowl. But like you said, I think he's a little undersized. I think of the whole Malik Willis situation when he came out of Liberty. Remember, everybody was excited about him. Had a nice bowl game, had a nice run towards to put Liberty on the map. He ended up falling to what, third round, I believe. And then doesn't, and now that he's had a little tutelage, a little time to grow and develop, now he's looking like he may take somebody's job one day, not Jordan Love's, but maybe like one day get his shot at as QB1 somewhere else. So I look at Chambliss like that. That's how I put him in that Malik Willis category. But it'll be interesting to see how this kid's stock rises, during the evaluation period now that he's kind of finding out that he has to enter the draft. Last but not least, Bama quarterback Ty Simpson. Is he even on your radar?
It's off my board, man. No, I'm kidding. He's not off my board. Listen, I like Ty Simpson. Because I like his ability to run an NFL style of offense. You see what Alabama likes to do. They like to play a spread offense. They like to get the ball out. Their running game wasn't usually what it has been, so he's had to deal with that to a degree now at Alabama. So they want him to run that sort of, highly efficient, high capacity kind of passing offense. But he doesn't do it for me for one reason. I just don't think he's always accurate enough where he can make a living off just being an accurate quarterback. Like, if you want to tell me you're an accurate quarterback and that's you're going to make your bread and butter, or that is your bread and butter, that's where you're going to make your bread, intermediate routes, underneath routes, you have to be accurate a lot of the times.
Yep.
We're not talking about Trinidad Chambliss, who's not necessarily always accurate in those positions, but he's gashing you for 40 yards down the field, or he's gashing you on the ground for 30, 40 yards. Ty Simpson's not bringing those explosive dynamics to his game. So you better be extremely accurate basically all the time, or else what's your differentiator in terms of being a day 1 or day 2 pick? So Ty Simpson to me is a third rounder, mid to early third round. I have Trinidad a little bit above him, believe it or not, maybe 10 spots, 5 spots in my rankings right now. I just like the explosiveness variable from Trinidad that Ty doesn't give me. I will say Ty did have a really bad second half of the year. Early on, he looked a lot more comfortable and confident. Now, I'm also questioning, was the tape out on him a little bit? You know how it is. Yep. When the tape gets out on you and defensive coordinators know your tendencies and what your preferences are, you're going to have to really change up a lot of what you're doing sometimes. If they know you're looking one way because they're running, a cover 3, they might switch it up on you and start masking things. And I think that may have confused Ty a little bit in terms of his development. So at this point, I like Ty. I don't love Ty. I don't think he fits the Jets. I think he's got to, again, he's got to go under that Dante Moore treatment, but not necessarily with the same traits that Dante Moore has. I think both those guys would benefit tremendously sitting for at least a year. I feel like a Trinidad Chambliss can come in, compete. You might end up starting that kid.
Yeah.
Maybe even week 1. I know that sounds crazy, but that kid's a gamer, man. We need a gamer. We need a baller. We need somebody that's tough as nails. That's another thing that he shares with Mendoza. They got some intangibles and some leadership stuff about them that you could just feel and hear, and you vibe with what they're saying. The Jets need that, and I think they both have that. And I'm not the only one saying that. If you go through scouting reports, they all point to how Chambliss and Mendoza are like these sort of locker room kind of presences that everyone loves and radicates towards, and they can bring some positivity and some energy to that Jets locker room, which desperately needs it. Dante Moore and Ty Simpson, they'll probably just come in and go about their business, and yeah, once they get more comfortable, they'll talk up a bit more. But we need somebody to come in and take over early on, man, and be that guy at the quarterback position.
You need him, especially if you draft him with the
go.
number 2 overall pick. Frankie V, we're going to be talking quarterbacks for a long time here, man, but I like the early list. I like your early draft board when it comes to these QBs. Tonight, we're going to see Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore just absolutely battle it out. Hopefully, Moore, if he's listening, if he's watching right now, he changes your mind. Appreciate you hopping on with us, man, at such short notice.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks.